This is our comfort soup, and another easy way to get some fiber. We're going to get through some veg this time, and some protein as well. We're making our sort of a riff off of this. Is like a German inspired soup that with dumplings and cabbage that I've had in the past, and just really nice comforting soup. And we're going to show you a few little tricks on how to make that a little bit easier, a little bit quicker as well. So for the base, and I also realized that we're using cabbage again for the third month in a row. This was not intentional, but that's, I think, maybe sort of lends itself to our tip of using an ingredient that can stretch over multiple meals. I think the cabbage is like one of those just incredible budget-friendly vegetables, very nutritious, but you can use it in soups, you can use it in salads, you can use it in so many things, and it lasts quite a long time. So featuring it again and not ashamed about it. We're going to start with our pot over medium-high heat. Add a little bit of olive oil here. For aromatics, I'm going to take a couple cloves of garlic and just throw that in. And then any other dried herbs, spices that you want to add, go for it. I have some dried herbs here. This is like a herbs de Provence, so it has like a little mix of a few different dried herbs like oregano, marjoram, rosemary, thyme, some of your favorites. In terms of, we wanted to talk a little bit about that kitchen reset today as well. I think January is sort of synonymous with that time of making new pacts with yourself, and going to the gym, and we're going to cook more, do all this stuff. For the kitchen, I think it's a good time to sort of do that reset. And what I mean by reset is setting it up so that it works better for you. Okay, there is a very common term that we use in kitchens called mise en place. Has anyone heard of that before? Some of you, yes. Okay, if you haven't, it's a French term used in kitchens that essentially means everything in its place. It refers very specifically to having your ingredients prepped and ready to go. Sort of like this. So when I do a cooking class, I have my mise en place ready so that I'm not just chopping and opening cans as you're watching, because that would be very boring, right? So having everything organized is going to allow me to facilitate the class a little bit better. Same principle if you're working in a kitchen, in a restaurant, or if you're cooking at home, is trying to have your station set up and organized. Even though it might take a little bit of extra time up front, will make the cooking process less stressful, for sure, more enjoyable, and also less risk of you overcooking or burning things, like garlic, right? If I'm running around gathering my ingredients as I'm cooking, it's very easy to sort of mess something up, or cut yourself, or just not enjoy the cooking and just be very stressed out. So having your station organized can be really helpful, but also having your kitchen organized can help with that process. So what I mean by that is going into your fridge, and it might take an hour or two, and go through everything. And I know I have expired jars of something hidden in the back. That might be the time to sort of review what needs to be thrown out. What are some ingredients that I don't really use that often? Maybe adding ingredients that would help to promote me to cook more from scratch, right? Same with the pantry. Going through, seeing what is expired, what are things that I don't use often, and refreshing it with things that would maybe inspire me to cook a little bit more. Maybe it's some new spices. Maybe it's a new condiment that I'm excited to use, right? And then lastly, with your equipment as well. Going through your drawers, taking out gadgets that I've never used and probably don't need to be here, and maybe I'll donate it to someone or a friend, or a center that takes gently used equipment. There may be a slow cooker that is taking up a lot of space in my cupboard that I haven't used in the last 30 years. I probably don't intend on using it yet. Slow cookers are great. Don't mean to trash slow cookers, but something like that where there is equipment or gadgets that you don't use and it's taking up space, removing them, refresh them with maybe something that you would use, or at least maybe just keep it a little more open for the items that you use more often, right? So that's the idea of like sort of setting up your kitchen space so that it works more for you, and it's just makes the cooking a little bit easier, more enjoyable, more sustainable. Absolutely. Let's see. Just a little tip on guidelines for women. So you're aiming for 25 grams per day of, I think, fiber. Yes, it is fiber. So 25 grams per day for fiber. For men, it is 30 grams. No, 38 grams. 38 grams for men, 25 grams a day for women, for fiber. Okay? So, we have our garlic in here, and I want to add a little bit of my dried herbs here. Again, you can add whatever flavors you love. I have some other aromatics, so some onions, some carrots. This is a very open recipe where you can use, again, things that you might need to, if you have in the fridge that you might want to use up in your dish. Okay? So stir that through. If this you want to soften the vegetables and the aromatics, you probably smell that a little bit. Yeah, some of those herbs. So I have my aromatics in here. I just want to soften it. That, and as that is softening, we can get our next ingredients ready. So we have some of our cabbage, beans, canned beans. Again, a great pantry item to have stocked up, where you can access fiber and protein together. Then you can add it to soups, you can add it to salads. It doesn't have to be cooked, right? It's already cooked. So drain and rinse, really easy, accessible, budget friendly. Doesn't have to be complicated. Once it's softened, 2-3 minutes, we can go ahead and add our cabbage here. Add as much that will fit into your pot. I'm using a smaller pot today. And then we can cover that with our vegetable stock, chicken stock, or if I just have water, or with water. And don't be afraid to use a bouillon, or they have like much better products now, right? The box broths are great. I don't love them always because they do take up space and they're larger, right? So they do have some of the concentrated bouillons, which are really good, and you only need a little bit. They are a little bit more expensive than a box, but that box equates to like 2 liters, and it's very diluted, or 1 liter, depending on what it is, and it's very diluted. Whereas that concentrated jar of bouillon will last you like 20 plus uses, right? So a little more upfront, but it'll last you way longer, and it's way more cost savings than those boxes. So depending on what you want, no one's asking you to make a vegetable stock from scratch every time. It's great to do, but it is time consuming, right? This is going to be a great dish, very healthy, and if it helps to enhance it with some convenient products, beautiful. Go for it.
A lot of the cubes don't have MSG anymore either, so
I've noticed some of the they make reduced sodium and lower sodium options as well. Yeah, so there are more options that you can choose from. Canned beans we can add directly in. This is, again, a nice way. We're adding a little bit more protein to this, fiber to this, but those beans are also really helpful in sort of satiating, right? So really nice way to fill up the dish so you feel fuller from the actual dish itself. Now, one of my favorite new hacks I'm doing all the talking for two, so I'm finding that my mouth is getting a little more parched. So we're gonna take our sips of water, which will lead into our third recipe, which is all about hydration. But one of my favorite hacks now, I don't know how my grandmother would feel if I'm not making gnocchi from scratch, but these gnocchi, these vacuum packed gnocchi, are a really, really great time saving and money saving hack. Okay, like I mentioned, we're riffing off of like a dumpling and cabbage soup. Where traditionally you make the dumplings from scratch. I don't have time to make dumplings from scratch, right? So this here is a product. It's essentially a potato gnocchi, which is vacuum sealed, and this takes like 3 minutes to cook. It's shelf stable. Once you open it, then you would want to refrigerate it, or what I would do is actually freeze it, and then you can use it as, because this freezes exceptionally well, and then I can use it as is. For a kilo, again, I've seen there's different brands, but they're all fairly budget friendly. Like this kilo bag was like $3, right? So for a kilo, this will last me, I can make like 3-4 recipes out of this, right? And it doesn't have to be just like a traditional sauce, like a tomato sauce. I can add it to my soups. I've seen recipes where you bake them with almost like in a little casserole, and it gets nice and crispy, right? So there's different things I can do with this, but again, an easy, convenient way. I'm stocking my freezer pantry, or if not open, regular pantry up with a great meal starter, a really great way to fill up the meal as well to make me feel more satiated. So I'm getting that healthy meal in with a nice, convenient product to help to fill it up, right? So what I usually do is once it comes to a boil, and I'm happy with the texture of the cabbage, it does not take long at all, maybe like 10 minutes or so, I'll add these little gnocchi right at the end. They take 3 minutes, but if you want them to absorb even more of the flavor, you can even let them go a little longer, or just turn off the heat and let them sit, and they sort of swell up a little bit and suck up some of that liquid in there.
Can you take your photo later?
Of course, yeah, I'll put this on the side. Yeah. So if you can't find this, you can definitely sub that with even like a dry pasta, or you can put like a barley, or you can mix and match, right? But this is just to give you some ideas of how I can set up my pantry to work a little bit better. So love those, and that's it. Like it should be fairly quick. This is a nice recipe to go for the bigger batch. It freezes really, really well. And again, by making the bigger batches, setting myself up with leftovers that freeze well, I'm sort of taking advantage of that cook time, that effort that I put in for those days where I just do not have time or energy to make something from scratch, right? I put that time in, and I've made a really nice dish. So this one is finished. Grab another bowl. I'm going to zoom, so let's see if the yellow has anything. The only other thing, to mention with the fiber, depending on your needs, if you're at risk of a bowel blockage because of a treatment, you may need a low fiber diet. So again, something to discuss. You can make adjustments as needed. Oh, 2. So, like for me, on a cold, snowy winter day, having something very nice and comforting like this is a win. And you don't need a lot of those little gnocchi dumplings in there, but a little bit just really, really helps to fill that soup up. And have to top it maybe with a little shrimp cheese again. I know we did the last recipe. This is optional, but if you have them, might as well. Either like a parm or a grana padano or something. You don't need too much. but to take a soup that cabbage soup sounds kind of boring, but there's ways in which we can, right, help plus it up a little bit. And there we go. Here's the second recipe.